Hi everyone, Stepan here, playing Ba4 1, 2, 3, 4. The last game was tactically very unsound. I took a pawn which I should not have taken. Ended up losing a beautiful game by my opponent. Okay, this is strange. I'm just going to take the center. This has a name, but I never seem to be able to remember it. If queen takes knight c3 is a tempo, if knight takes e4 is a tempo, and in theory black should have a hard time equalizing. Now you can play a3 at some point to prevent bishop b4, and I think I'm going to play it here, so I'm just going to play against the pressure on my e4 pawn. a3 isn't the most precise move, but it's fine. If knight f3, then takes, knight takes, bishop b4, bishop e3, there's knight g4, takes, bishop takes, or even queen takes. Okay, I'm playing knight f3, that seems to be the principled move. I may have gone bishop b5, but I'm not really sure that's the best way to do this. If he goes bishop c5, I will go I will go bishop b5. Okay, how does he defend this? Bishop b5 check. If knight c6, I take it. If bishop d7, I could go queen d3, or even castle. So bishop b5 check, bishop d7 castles, takes on b5, knight takes. Seems fine. Okay, now my knight isn't under pressure anymore. So castling seems correct. He's probably gonna do the same. Is there anything better I can do? His development is lagging definitely. So castle's kingside seems to be the principled move, unless there's queen g4 in the position. But bishop d4. Okay, so no funny business. If a6 b5, I think my bishop is pretty happy on c2, looking at h7. Okay. Now do we play b4 followed by bishop b2? b4 seems okay. Gaining some space, getting a square for my bishop, unless my bishop wants to be on e3. But then there may be e5 in the position. Which squares am I giving away? I'm giving away c4 to knight b6, knight c4. That probably isn't such a big deal. b4, I'm expecting him to retreat the bishop. If he takes, I just have the bishop pair, so I'm gonna go for it. I'm gonna go b4. I like my bishop on b2. Why am I 2 minutes down on the clock? It doesn't seem like I did anything to waste time. If I were him, I'd go bishop e7, bishop f6. Okay, bishop b2, no reason to do anything crazy, I feel. Knight c6 is still unplayable. I think he should have gone here and put pressure on this diagonal. The bishop seems kind of useless over here because he never wants to take the knight. If knight e5, I have to do something against knight e5. I probably go knight c2. Threatening to take on e6. Okay, knight c2. With the threat of knight takes e6. Or even knight a4, then bishop c7 defends the knight. If I go knight c2, he's gonna go knight c6. But if I go knight a4 followed by f4, where does the knight go? No, I don't like knight a4. I don't want to keep my knight on the rim. I like knight c2. He's gonna go knight c6, but then I could think about f4 after I unpin. I could also consider just taking on c6. The main thing in this position is not to let his bishop out unnecessarily. So can I take on e6 now? Knight e6 doesn't work. Okay, so let's just drop the bishop back. He's gonna have knight c4. He's gonna have knight c4. Excuse me. So bishop a4, knight c4, bishop c3 still seems okay. I don't think I can give up my light squared bishop. That's the whole point, preventing this one from coming out. His position is loose because of the knight on e5. So he really should go knight c4. Whoa. Sorry about that. He didn't go knight c4. So now let's prevent knight c4. I mean, he's probably gonna go b5. So rook c1, b5, bishop b3, preventing knight c4. Also putting pressure on e6 seems okay. I have to be worried about moving my d4 knight now, because there's also knight d3 in the position. At least he defended his knight, so now it doesn't seem as loose. On queen d6, I think I have to go f4. I don't mind f4 either, because the bishop isn't on b6 anymore. Oh, I got disconnected. Lichess says reconnecting. Okay, I have to switch to my mobile network. Okay, reconnecting. Now it should be fine. Please, please. Am I connected? Hopefully. I have to wait for him to make a move. Okay, as expected. And we are online. Why would he go rook e8? Why not bishop b7? So I'm looking at queen c2 and an exchange sacrifice. So queen c2, if bishop b6, then queen c8, rook c8, knight e6. How does that look? I have these two strong bishops. Reconnecting again? Okay, I have to switch to my mobile network. Something's wrong, I don't know what. Sorry about this. I'm going to switch to another network. Hopefully. Okay, reconnecting. Okay. Should be fine now. Okay, so queen c2, bishop b6, queen c8, rook c8, knight e6. How does that look? Also, queen c2, bishop b6, I can just go rook d1. I don't have to take straight away. I'm gonna do that. Because this fights against queen d6. And maybe I could take on c8. Maybe I also throw in f4. f4 knight g4, he's threatening knight e3. And if queen c8, queen c8, rook c8, rook c8, knight e6, I don't really have a threat. So maybe rook fd1 first. But then he plays bishop b7. Maybe queen c3 makes sense. Queen c3, then f4 becomes very strong. I like queen c3. Because now if I play f4, I just win. Also, he doesn't have queen h4 because of f4. He doesn't have bishop b7 because of f4. My pieces seem very optimally placed, whereas these haven't moved yet, so white is definitely better. What does he play on f4? So f4, the knight moves, I guess. Or no, he plays rook c7. He wants to go rook c7. But then I go queen g3. f4, rook c7, queen g3, the knight moves, knight takes e6, bye-bye. Okay. Maybe this does work. Now I definitely don't want a rook trade down the c-file, so I'm gonna go rook c1, I think. Rook cd1, sorry. I don't want a rook trade. This also prevents bishop e7, and it threatens e5 knight e6. I want to play f5, but I couldn't while my queen was on g3. So now with bishop f8, I'm going f5. I need to weaken the light square diagonal. I may also have knight h6, knight f7. Knight h6 check just cannot be taken. So if he goes rook d1, then I just win. Oh, knight h6 check. King h8. And knight f7. Seems okay to me. Oh, there's a knight on g6. There's a knight on g6. No. Wait, no, it does work. It does work. I have bishop f7. Jesus. I didn't see bishop f7 before I played knight h6. I didn't see that. Luckily, it did work. Whoa. Whoa. I didn't see the knight on g6. I just assumed that I had queen h8, mate. Oh. Okay, this was lucky. Let's analyze. Okay, wow. Okay, yeah, knight f6. Let's see what the name of that is. Martial defense. Okay, martial defense. e4, knight f6, knight c3. People don't play a3, but I like a3. Let's see. c5, knight f3, cd4, knight d4, bishop b5 check. Okay, white is slightly better. Knight c2 is a mistake. I should have gone knight a4. Why doesn't he go knight bishop c7 here? Just queen c2, rook c1. Okay. Oh, knight takes b5. And if rook takes, I take the bishop. If the bishop takes, I take the bishop on c8. I didn't see this. This is nice. If bishop takes, I take here. If rook takes, I take here. Okay. Rook cd1 best. Okay, I'm very happy with this move. f5, opening up the diagonal. Knight f5. Okay. So I didn't see the knight. Sorry, stupid. But I'd assumed that on takes I have queen h8 mate. But luckily I had bishop f7 mate. I was just looking at this. This is what I saw. And it works, but okay. Oof. Why didn't I get the evaluation? Why doesn't it work now? Okay, never mind. I was better throughout the game. I mean, the only mistake I made was knight c2. Yeah. Okay, thank you for watching. I'm kind of ashamed that I missed the knight on g6, but I got lucky. Stay tuned for more chess. Bye-bye.